and it's time to talk about the Matt and Rachel breakup that has consumed Bachelor Nation for the past week. I mean,
Chaos.
we weren't planning a gossip episode this week. We were like, we got to put one together, and it feels like we're already, like it's been eons already. Like
I
we
know
lived
there have been
lifetimes
so many
each day.
developments in this case, Claire, and I
I
still
know.
really don't feel like I understand what happened. So,
Yeah.
Matt James announced his breakup from Rachel on January 16th, 2025. They had been dating for 4 years.
Mm.
Obviously, they got together on his season of The Bachelor. They broke up for a period of time. They got back together, and they seemed to have just this very delightful, cohesive relationship. They were constantly just traveling to beautiful places, making cute videos together, eating delicious food, and as of the last like 6 months had been speaking about the potential of getting married. So I really was starting to just like think that they were going to make it.
Yeah, I mean, they always seemed like they were having a great time together. Obviously, you're only going to post
The
the
good
good
stuff, of
stuff,
course.
but
People
not
break up, that's
everyone,
life.
right? Not everyone has the good stuff that looks as fun and good as what they posted. You know what I mean? Like the stuff they posted, you're like, wow, they really are friends. Like they enjoy
Right.
hanging out. They're really comfortable with each other. And they have all these cute like jokey videos together where they're eating delicious food and just like having a great time.
I also will say that they are not the type of couple that it felt like they were constantly posting the other person just to post them. Like Rachel
Yeah.
did a plenty of posting by herself with friends.
Yeah,
It,
there
it
were
didn't
even
feel
times when
performative.
sometimes breakups were rumored because she hadn't posted with him for a while. And
It
I
was
don't know if
just
I don't know if that's because they just weren't worrying about it or if it's because their relationship had some bumps in it that they didn't want to make public. I think they were definitely trying to keep their relationship a more united public front.
yeah, and I also just want to be clear that like we don't believe that just because a relationship ends, it is a failure. You know, they were together for 4 years. That's like a pretty great run. Most relationships do end at some point. But I think what has caused people a lot of confusion is the way that the rollout of this news occurred. So Matt announced this, as I said, on January 16th in a solo Instagram grid post with the following caption: Father God, give Rachel and I strength to mend our broken hearts. Give us a peace about this decision to end our relationship that transcends worldly understanding. Shower our friends and family with kindness and love to comfort us, and remind us that our joy comes from you, Lord. Heartbreak emoji.
And this was posted under a photo of the two of them meeting
At Nemacolin.
at Nema. I mean, he tagged Nemacolin. I thought that was a little odd. It was just sort of like an odd post head to toe, you know?
Yeah, and
And
it was posted at like 6 a.m. Eastern or even earlier.
right, which you
So
would think is a sort of almost like a scheduled, considered post, but then it wasn't a joint post with Rachel. She didn't engage with it at all. She didn't post anything of her own, which increasingly started to make it seem like it wasn't a careful, considered, scheduled publication.
which it seems that it wasn't. So people immediately responded which with just utter confusion. People wondered, was Matt's account hacked? Is this real? What is going on here? Because just hours earlier, Matt had been posting kind of a rollout of a content dump of videos of himself and Rachel from Aspen and London. We know that he often, for privacy reasons, posts content from trips like weeks after they occur, which makes a lot of sense. But what felt odd, I think, to us, even though we realized it must have been old content, is that it was still a choice to post these very couple-centric videos, like days of them, and then
Yeah.
less than 24 hours later, post a breakup post. It seemed like an odd choice.
He was posting comments not long before about how beautiful she is, tagging her, etc. Like, it really seemed like unnervingly odd behavior if you were planning a breakup post. And so people were like, he must have been hacked, or, you know, something weird is going on if it's not a hack, because that's so unlikely. But then the day was going on. Rachael hadn't said anything. Matt hadn't said anything else. Why wouldn't they have said something if he were hacked? So some people also theorized that it was a prank, like, oh, they're always goofing off. Maybe they want to announce an engagement, and this is just a way to, like...
This would be a weird joke, I'm going to say.
It's also a weird
funny.
Breakup note, so, you know... Either way, it's a weird choice. We're just dealing with a weird dude here. I mean, they have been talking about getting engaged publicly over the last few months. Matt had, like, dropped some hints. Like, Rachael had been like, oh, my finger is ready for the ring. I'm on Matt's time now. And he seemed to be indicating that he was just ready.
Planning
like,
this.
Just needed to start the process of getting the ring and doing all those things. But that was the next step. And so, of course, people are like, instead he posted this weird-ass breakup prayer.
Right, like, what is happening?
Out of nowhere. Surely he's trolling us. And then the big punchline is going to be, psych, we're engaged. No, as it turns out, that was not the plan. It really was just a weird-ass breakup post. So what made it clear to me that this was neither a hack nor a prank was that people from Rachel's camp started talking to the tabloids. Yeah. A source close to the couple told The Sun that Rachael was blindsided by the post and her family, quote, didn't think they were fully broken up, suggesting that the breakup was real, but that they had not made a joint plan on how to announce it, and that maybe they were still in a gray area. The source also said it was Rachel's decision and, quote, Matt knows what he did.
But we don't.
We don't. A source close to Rachael also told Us Weekly that she was the one who ended the relationship. But meanwhile, Rachael was not saying anything publicly, and so the information has been trickling out sort of bit by bit in this way where sources are going to these publications that are like semi-reliable. Like, you're sort of like, is this real?
And you're like, who is this source? And like, how close are they to... It's just a little bit hard to assess. And then also, like, gossip accounts have been, like, putting out bits of information that they've gotten. So, for example, Dumois posted that the couple had been spotted very much together in Japan just days, like 3 days before the breakup.
Which makes sense. I mean, he was doing this dump of Japan and, like, I think England content. They had been traveling together. I don't think they were currently in Japan. But that was very recent. And the breakup, it seems like, was extremely recent. And she hasn't really posted anything. Her last grid post on Instagram at the time of this taping is still a birthday tribute reel to Matt in December. One thing that she has done, though, is like a comment on that post saying, the more I'm thinking about this, the more I think he completely blindsided her with this. Give her some grace and let her respond in her own time.
Yeah.
So that is her indication that...
She's waiting to speak, and she was blindsided by the post. Also, right. Rachel's sister, Trinity, posted a comment, like a response comment on a TikTok, saying that Rachael and Matt had only been broken up for 3 hours before he posted on Instagram. And again, this was at 5:30 or 6 a.m. Eastern. So maybe they were out of the country. Like, we don't know. Or
maybe they're out of the country, or maybe they had a really rough,
or they had a rough night where it was like sad, teary conversations until 3 a.m. and then he posted without telling her, which is like, just seems really reckless when you're a public figure and unwise.
Yeah. Wild behavior. I mean, I think one of the theories that's been floating around is that Rachael has seemed really ready to get engaged. Yes. Like, a lot of her friends are getting married. They've been together for 4 years. And she's mentioned often that she's ready in public. They went on a big trip together. Maybe she was expecting a proposal, Or maybe she had even said that she needed a proposal and it didn't come. Maybe that was like a triggering point, and that's why they were traveling together so recently, and then went right into a sort of like unexpected, messy breakup, because maybe she was thinking they were going to get engaged, and he was thinking, she's always going on about getting engaged.
She doesn't
but
really
I'm
need
sure
it
it's
right
not
now.
a big deal.
Right. There is a very distinct possibility that it could just be like one person was ready for a step forward that the other person is not ready for, and
I think it's like the indications are there that it was Rachel who was ready.
100%. Yes.
And this makes that prayer post feel like passive aggressive to me, to be honest. Like, there's something odd about the prayer to begin with. And I think the least weird context is if it were a joint post. And they're like,
we are praying for...
love God. We're praying for our healing together because we still care about each other. And then it's a little weirder. Like, if he dumped her, it's really weird in
or
like
if she dumped him
a different way.
But even if she dumped him, but it was because he couldn't commit in the way she needed. Like,
it seems passive aggressive to me. It's like, oh, well, I guess we just have to turn to the Lord to help us through this difficult time that surpasses worldly understanding.
Bizarre.
Our joy comes from you, Lord, and not from our girlfriend who dumped us because we wouldn't propose, or what. Listen,
we
I
don't
know exactly
we have literally
happened.
No idea what happened, but these are we're
saying,
reporting on the rumors floating around. Okay.
If it were her decision, as her family is kind of putting out there, or as people close to her putting out there, if it was her decision, then this way of announcing it with this prayer without a joint post reads as quite passive aggressive to me.
I agree. People have also been close reading Rachel's TikTok likes and reposts for clues. And I did confirm this. She reposted recently a video with the text, "Women only wear revealing clothes to get attention from men," in quotes. And then a response, "I don't know, bro. Have you seen what women wear when they know men won't be there?" Basically, like, implying, kind of clapping back at men who try to have a say on how women dress, with the understanding,
policing
women's clothes.
Yeah.
So people noted that. People also noted that she had reposted a video of like a scary clown in a dress in someone's home while a man opens the door, and it says, "Actual footage of me breaking into my friend's man's house after finding out they cheated." So people are like, what happened? Did Matt cheat?
I mean, that is kind of what Matt knows what he did implies. Yeah. So that is also a possible.
We don't know.
I think we just don't know.
A lot of speculation. I will also say something I did like is that some of the other TikToks she has recently liked and reposted were like, "I believe in climate change" type posts and other like liberal posts.
Rachel, I believe in climate change too.
Yeah. It was one about how AI is causing climate change.
You know what? Not enough people are talking about that. AI is so evil.
I think, and also I think some stuff that I interpreted as being anti-Trump. So, just saying.
So we're all just getting to know Rachel better through close reading her social media
I
find
learned
out
some things about Rachel from her likes and reposts.
I'm sure at some point she will go on a podcast, or I would expect at some point to hear her when she's ready talk about what happened.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to see her on like a Call Her Daddy or something like that.
Did you see that former morning show host Amy Robach and TJ Holmes put out an episode about this?
I did not
immediately.
Until you told me that this had happened. I was like, this is the weirdest connection.
They put out an episode like the day of the breakup announcement about their dear friend Matt James, who they're very close with apparently. Wow. And they're so shocked and sad about the breakup.
This is what happens
they're like,
when
he supported us so much during the scandal.
When you're famous in New York, these are just the circles you end up running in.
Apparently. And they also did want to just confirm that they know things they can't say, but it's true that Matt was talking marriage a lot, both publicly and privately. That was authentic, and they really expected a proposal to be the next update.
Oh, I am so confused. Who didn't want marriage in this relationship? Or was that not the issue at all?
I mean, it seems like
my money would be, if I had to, you know, take a side. But
I mean,
I don't know.
These things can just kind of fall apart.
It's true.
You know, maybe they both wanted it, but if I had to, I think that it is also sometimes the case that men will be like, of course I want to get married, babe, soon. And then eventually the girlfriend is like, what is soon? Because the years are going by and I don't want it to be soon forever. And men don't like to always be pushed to that point. So that was kind of my instinctive read of what happened. But the reality is maybe something else came in and messed everything up. But they're like, he was genuinely planning to propose. We didn't see this coming. But they mentioned that long distance was a strain. I don't think that they ever lived in the same city.
Right.
And so they're traveling a lot together, but when they weren't traveling
they
together,
weren't
they
in
were
the same
often
place.
apart. Which is like a big, I mean, that's what happened to Paige DeSorbo and Craig Conover of
Okay,
Summer
so
House.
if you don't want to live in the same city, that really can end a relationship.
Yeah. So, you know,
who knows? But we will, you know, keep our finger on the pulse.
I'm going to keep an eye on Amy and TJ's podcast
I
to
think
see if they have
will
any
be
updates
breaking
about
the news. They're going to have the first
their
official interview with Matt James. I feel like that's what they were trying to seed the groundwork for.
I'm really excited for them to have him on to explain how genuine he is. Yeah, so that's what's going on in Bachelor Nation. I'm sad actually about the Matt and Rachel thing.
I'm honestly really bummed.
I'm always kind of happy when it seems like a couple kind of leaves the Bachelor space and just kind of has their own relationship.
No, that's just like that's just a couple in the real world who had a really long relationship that seemed like both wanted to lead towards marriage, and then to have a breakup just is traumatic always, especially when you're in a long-term relationship and especially when you're in the public eye. I always have a lot of empathy for people who have to navigate that particular kind of grief in public, with people speculating what happened, with like having to dole out details to make sure that like you don't feel you've been smeared in the media. Like that's just a whole other level of hell when you're already dealing with a breakup. It just makes me sad.
It seems really rough to have to be in what seems like such a happy place and then to very abruptly be dealing with all of this.
Exactly.
Seems really hard.
It just sucks.
Yeah. Well, we'll be following this story, see if there are any more meaningful Instagram likes or maybe a podcast interview. We can only hope.
We will keep everyone updated.
We hope everyone's okay.
Yes.
Especially TJ and Amy, because they were really rocked by this.
We really hope they're okay.